Hello, everyone.
Hey, guys.
We already have some people on here. Welcome, welcome.
Yes. Thank you so much for already. Man, you guys are early.
Didn't expect to see so many people on here when we first jumped on. Welcome.
Yeah. Thanks for being here, Lark, Sue, Caitlin, Alicia, Michelle, Allison. Oh, we're so glad that you guys were able to make it too. I know it's so hard when we don't know like all the time zones that everybody's in. Oh. My phone is listening and picking up our...
Can everyone hear us okay? How's the audio?
Hi, Kelly, Kenna, Little B.
Welcome, Jennifer.
I love your glasses.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I don't wear them all the time, but sometimes they help me see a little bit better. I guess that's what glasses are for.
Yeah, especially with screens. He had LASIK, but...
Yeah, I had LASIK eyesight, which out and about is fine. But when I'm looking at a screen or watching TV, they help a lot. So I can actually read the comments this time.
Hello from Missouri and Wisconsin. Hi, guys.
Thank you for letting us know. It sounds great.
Laura, oh, glad that it's great. And thanks, Laura, for becoming a member.
Oh, yes.
That's still new to us. We appreciate it so much.
Yes, we see a little logo next to your name, so that helps us out.
Mother Mildred's Pizza Slice.
Yes.
I don't know if you've seen that video, but in case anybody's wondering, like the little pizza slices next to people's names, if you're a member, you get a little pizza slice. Mother Mildred's pepperoni pizza.
Yes, and if you haven't watched it, that I believe is under the Fourth Mother Stories, I believe is the title of that.
Yeah,
so
we did that.
If you do want to watch what the pizza's all about, that's what it is.
Hi from Michigan and Tennessee, Colorado. Woohoo!
Welcome,
Northern
everyone.
California, Oklahoma, Atlanta. Man, that's awesome. So many. Hi, Latter-day Film Guy. Thanks for being a member.
Yes, and thanks for being here.
Yes. Oh, yeah. We've really enjoyed the last couple interviews, too. We're super, super fun for us. So we're glad that you guys enjoyed them as well.
It's been great that people are willing to share more of their stories, and it's been great for us to learn so much from them. I mean, I have my perspective from it all, but obviously there's a lot more to the story than even I knew. So it's been good.
Absolutely. Hi from Turkey, Holland, Ohio here.
And thanks for telling us where you're all from. This is great.
Yeah. Just got done watching Big Love. So we just watched the first episode of Big Love because so many people have talked about that. So we just watched the first episode. But since it is like such a long series, we're like, there's not really a whole lot to like talk about for each episode, like the series that we do or the documentaries.
We're thinking maybe watch a full season and then react to the season because yes, one episode wasn't quite enough to make a whole video about.
We're like, that's not quite there. California, Minnesota. Oh, thank you so much, Wendy. For everyone. I'm going to try to keep an eye on the comments. We'll try to respond. We have about an hour, so we'll go from 6 to 7, and we'll try to respond to as many questions, as many comments as we possibly can.
Yes.
Sometimes it's hard to keep track as comments are coming in. We do have super chats on as well, so if you want to make sure that we see your question, you can always do a super chat. It pops up in big bold letters, and we will be for sure answer whatever question you have if you do that.
You won't miss that one.
Yeah. Hi from Las Vegas. Oh, neighbors.
Hey, welcome, neighbors. It's interesting. We've been running into people here and there throughout Las Vegas that recognize us, and it's an interesting feeling. So
yeah. But if you see us, come say hi.
Yes, if you see us, for anyone, if you see us, I know someone saw us in Seattle. Come by and say hi to us.
Hi from Dubai. Oh, we want to come visit you.
Yes, we do.
Idaho Falls. Oh my goodness, lots and lots of people. Well, thanks so much, everyone, for joining. Yeah, if you guys feel free to smash the like button so other people are able to see it. And then, yeah, you can start with questions.
Any questions you have? I know we have one right here from Bev Ridge. Sam, will you share your ancestry on here? So that's a great question. And I hope the answer is yes. I'm working on all of that. I'm working on putting a story together that will be easier to share and hopefully make some sense of all of this. So the answer is yes. I don't know exactly when yet.
And we're trying to think of the best way to like present it and try to decide like, should we do a slideshow? Do we want to do like a whiteboard and figuring all that out? And then obviously his family tree is like massive. So it's like, how much of it should we do? Unless you guys wanted like an episode every week for a year, then we could maybe cover his family.
Start with a couple branches at a time or something.
Yeah. Hey, Mom. Oh, speaking of family, my mom's here. They were watching the kids downstairs. You guys want to say hi to my mom?
You can meet Melissa's mom.
Yeah. Here, well, Come say hi, Mom.
Her name is Michelle.
Yeah, this is my mom, Michelle. Spokane, Washington. So you look over there, you can see everything people are saying.
Okay. Hi, everyone.
So yes,
Hi,
there you
Mom.
go.
Yeah, my parents live really close to us, and so they live like 7 minutes away, and they all the time watch the kids for us when we're filming YouTube videos.
Yeah, so thanks to her, we
All
are
right,
able
do
to
this.
do this as often as we do. So it's been thank you for all of your help, and thanks for being here.
Yeah.
It's always my pleasure.
Well, since she's here, you guys are twins. I know, right? Yeah, no family resemblance. If you saw any of my other siblings, like we have some in town, maybe some will come say hi. But yeah, there is strong family resemblance. All of us look very similar.
Yeah.
When are we going to come visit Spokane?
Well,
we need to soon because we fell in love with Seattle. We
yes,
love
that is a bucket
Seattle.
list for sure. And I know Spokane's on the other side of the state, but I still hear it's beautiful. So we hope to do that soon. We'll let you know when we do.
Thank you, Alicia.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Okay, so since my mom's here, if anyone has questions for my mom, now is the time, which we never get to do. So if you want, let's see. Sam, are you related to Rebecca Musser from Keep Sweet?
Most likely in a roundabout way. I don't know exactly how we're related. I don't know any very close ties. So I know the name and I've seen her around, but I don't know if I'm related or not, or how related.
Yeah, a lot of times there's a lot more like family. Everybody's related somehow. It's just finding the connection.
I saw a question from Darcy. Did that already disappear?
Possibly. One from my mom says, how do you feel about us doing YouTube, Mom?
I think it's great that they're able to share their story with everybody. I don't mind at all.
Is it a little weird still? Like she was, yeah.
It's a little weird, yeah, I must say. I mean, but I think it's fun to watch them because they're just always honest and open, and I know that they've touched people's lives, and so I'm proud of them for whatever they do.
Here's a good one for you. This will put you on the spot. It says, "What was your first impression of Sam?" I've never heard this. I want to know too. So thank you for the question.
Oh, I thought he was darling. My first real memory of Sam was when they were dating at Easter time, and he had never experienced Easter before. He never colored Easter eggs or gone on Easter egg hunts. And on our family, every holiday is a big deal.
It's huge.
It's huge. And
I found that out very quickly.
So it was so much fun doing that first experience with him, and then having the Easter egg hunt in the backyard. And then I got to find out how competitive he was. Because once he found out that whoever got the Easter eggs first was the winner, there's no prize in our family, but you're considered the winner. And he was like, game on.
Suddenly I was tackling all of her kids.
And all the boys were going after each other and knocking each other down for eggs.
Sam and my brother were like going as fast as they could.
Yes.
It was fun, yeah. So he's an awesome young man. I couldn't ask for a better son-in-law for my daughter.
Well, thank you. I do remember what Darcy asked. You asked something about if I have people that reach out to me that are still in polygamy, in the polygamous community. On occasion, yes, I do now. And actually, some of them tell me that they have seen some of our YouTube videos, which is, I hope it's a good thing. Sometimes they may take it as a bad thing. I don't know, but anyway, I do get some people reaching out now. So it's been great.
Okay, another question, Mom, for you is, can you tell a cute story of me when I was little?
Well, she used to call coats gooks. That was her word for them.
Good.
But I think the first story that comes to mind is, and I think I'll probably
cry.
When she was little, there was an Easter egg hunt at Walmart. And, all the little kids go in and they try to get all of the coins. Like the coins were the big deal. Everybody got candy, but then there were the coins. And there was a little boy in a wheelchair that was sitting outside of the, see, I'm going to cry.
Oh, you're making me cry.
That was sitting outside of the Easter egg hunt. And of course he couldn't get anything. And so as soon as she was done, everybody else was just looking at their loot, and she looked down. And like I said, the best prize that there was this coin. And so she took some of her candy and she gave him some of her candy. And then she said, "Here, I want you to have the coin."
Hmm.
And
I
that's,
don't really remember that, but you're making me teary, guys.
it was actually, they actually, somebody from the newspaper saw it and put it in the newspaper.
Wow.
Yeah. But that's always the kind of young lady and little girl she was, always thinking of other people.
Oh,
Someone
thanks,
here
Mom.
says that you raised a great daughter. So
Aw.
good
Thank
job.
you. I agree.
And Susie, yes, it is crazy. She asks, Sam, isn't it crazy that you grew up in polygamy and felt you had a great life? Were you shocked to find out that people called it a cult? Yes, I was, because I felt that I grew up in a great loving community with a great family, and cult has always come across as a negative word. So even now I try not to use the word cult, just because for respect, for respect out of my family. And I know that my family out there still are just trying to live the best life they know how. And so I try not to use that word too often. But yes, I was shocked to hear that people considered it a cult. But then the longer I was out, the more I realized how different it was. So then I wasn't so surprised, but it kind of goes hand in hand there.
Yeah. For those of you who just got here, this is my mom, Michelle.
Yes,
She's
she
the
joined
one
us
who watches
today.
our baby so that we can do YouTube. And so if you have any questions for her, we're like, come say hi for a minute. While Papa's downstairs with kids. So we're like, come say hi. But if you have a question for her, you can put it in. Again, we're going to try to get through as many questions. They kind of come in a little bit fast sometimes. If you want to make sure we don't miss your question, you can always do a super chat. That pops up really big for us, and we will definitely answer it if we see that. And then we'll just try to answer as many possible.
Yes.
How do I feel about
them
not being in any religion?
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, this is a place for honesty, so
Yeah.
I'll be honest. It makes me a little sad. Yeah.
A little bit hard.
Yeah. I wish, I hope that someday they will find a religion that's right for them. And I hope that Christ is part of it.
Yeah. Good answer.
Well, there you go.
Her mom, let's see.
So many comments coming in.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. So, do you have any advice? What's good motherly advice? There we go. What's a good motherly advice?
Good motherly advice. I think that the number one thing to do when you're raising children is to always tell them what to do instead of what not to do. And so even if there's nothing that you can't say in a positive way instead of a negative way, even if it's just like, I know those things are scrolling, so I'll talk fast. But if a child puts their feet on the table, instead of saying, don't put your feet on the table, you just tell them, put your feet on the floor. And that's part of the way that I raise my children. I just always try to tell them what to do instead of what not to do. And I think that they all turned out pretty amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely helped with my kids too. Like trying to use that as well. Kind of like if you say like, don't think of an elephant, then you think of an elephant, right? And if you say don't run, what are they actually hearing? So
well, and then they feel like they're doing something wrong. As soon as I say don't to you, you're going to think, oh, I've done something wrong. And really, you're just learning. We're all just learning from the time we're little to now.
Yeah.
Wow.
What's one thing on your bucket list, Mom?
I want to go to Machu Picchu.
Machu Picchu. I could get behind that.
Anybody live near there?
that sounds like a great idea. Yeah. Or has anyone been there? I've seen pictures. It's very beautiful.
Oh, so many people saying, thanks, Mom. I thought you were going to be able to hear their stories. Melissa and Mama Bear is quite compared to Sam. Oh, okay. I'll talk a little louder. I need to talk louder.
Oh, okay.
Thank you for the work.
Maybe put that in between you so you can both.
There you go. So you can hear a little bit better.
I'll try to turn this one too.
Someone said, I feel although they aren't in a church, they still seem very godly. Aww.
They are.
Well, thank you.
Mom, have you ever had the chance to visit Short Creek?
Yes.
Yeah, we took her out. My parents, when we went to go film the video, like touring the neighborhood, we brought my parents with to help out with the kids so that we could keep the kids with us still. So we brought them along with, and they got the full tour as we were filming it.
It's always fun to bring new people out there that have never been there and kind of share my experiences, because that sheds a whole new light on it. From just driving through, you may not think much of the place, but when you grow up out there, there's a lot of stories to be told.
Yeah.
And it helped me to know that I would never want to live like that.
Someone says, I am the black boy, last name Black, that painted around the creek. Okay. I think there were a few of you, weren't there? But hello. I might even know your first name to know which one you are.
Yeah. That's what I do. Oh, sorry, guys. Again, I'm scrolling. We're trying to get to as many
keep up
comments as
here.
possible. For those of you who are just barely here, welcome. We're excited to do a live since we know that we have so many new subscribers. This is my mom, Michelle. She was here, and so I was like, come on, say hi. So if you have any questions for her before she has to get back to the littles.
She always helps us watch the littles. It's thanks to her and her husband that we are able to, Melissa's dad, that we are able to do so much videos in that.
A lot of people saying, what's the first thing that you thought again? She answered that question before, so just watch the replay for that as far as her first impression of Sam. But overall, he passed. So that's good.
He did pass.
Yes. Any sisters and brothers are out? Yes, I do have. There's about 15 of us siblings that have moved out of Colorado City now, Colorado Hilldale.
Hi from Alberta.
Oh wow!
Would you ever do an interview with your mom and discuss a specific topic?
Ooh.
What topic would you guys want to know?
Because
we can totally do one, right, Mom? Would you be open to that? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I don't know. Give us some
topic
ideas. Leave them in the comments. Let us know what you want to hear about from my mom in a full video. And yeah, we'll do that.
Thank you, Melissa.
Oh, Warren had never gone off the deep end. What would the FLDS be like today? That's a good one.
Well, my assumption is it would be very similar to the way it was before him. Because before him, it was his father, Rulon Jeffs, and then Roy Johnson. And, things seemed to be okay during that time as far as from a young boy's view on it. We were able to have a great time, great family, a lot of activities and things like that. So I imagine it would have continued the same way and probably would have continued to grow with how many children were being born into the religion.
Yeah. Oh, thanks for stopping by, Latter-day Film Guy. We'll talk to you later.
Yes, glad you could jump in for a little bit.
Any types of food, babe, that you miss from your childhood besides cantaloupe and ice cream?
Oh, that is a good one. I do miss that. Yes, a lot of homemade food. Really, that's all we ate was homemade food. So Melissa does a great job making homemade food as well. But there are specific dishes that my mother would make, like stir fry, that I really miss because everyone has a certain way of making things, and you get used to that one type of food made the certain way. It's hard to replicate it.
Yeah. Tips on talking with parents about leaving the LDS Church. To be honest, I guess I would say my biggest tip for anyone talking to any family member when you are leaving or struggling with your faith is to not bombard them with new information that you found, but to only tell them what you think they're ready to hear. Because when you are going through your faith journey, at least for Sam and me, before I think we even talked to you, like it had been over a year of information of us learning and gathering things and learning new things and prayer and all this stuff. But your loved ones aren't part of that journey, right? So if you go and you just are like, this is all the things I learned, the last year worth of stuff, that's way too much information for somebody who isn't on that journey. So I would say, don't feel like you need to say everything about what you think or feel. Pick one thing that you think would be understandable for them, and then wait for future opportunities to open up a little bit more and more. That would be my advice.
I like that. And then you come across as trying to help someone, be there for someone instead of just bashing on what they believe or believed.
Because they weren't there for all the steps, because it's such a huge process. So you can't expect them to just be okay with all the steps right away. Any advice you would give?
These two have done a wonderful job, because even though they don't believe the way that I do, they know that I love them no matter what, and they love and respect me for my beliefs, even though we don't agree. Obviously it's hard. It's hard when your child tells you that they don't believe the way that you do, and but they did an amazing, amazing job. So if they can help any of you in your journey, I think that's a blessing.
Thanks, Mom.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
If there's not anything else for me, all right.
Well, I'll give you, this will be a good last one, and then I'll let you run back to the grandbabies. Hi, Mom. What's the best part of being a grandma?
Ooh.
Oh my
Ooh.
gosh, everything. Everything. I love them from the second that they're conceived. Okay, from even before. So even before Lila was born, we had a baby swing hung up on our tree in our backyard, just waiting for that first grandbaby.
Yeah.
And we just love every single thing about them, every single little nuance of every little age. I mean, oh my gosh, I can't even. I love my children. I love my children so much. Those grandbabies, I just can't even express how amazing they are to me. Just I don't even care if they're throwing a temper tantrum at 3 years old. It's because they're 3 and they're just so precious and you just love them to death. So
I'll be all frustrated and she'll be like, they're so cute though. When they throw tantrums like that, I'm like, nah, not right now. They don't feel that cute to me. But
I always
just that love, man.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than family. Go ahead.
I always hear people say the only thing better than being a parent is being a grandparent. And so would you say that is?
Do you know, I just love both.
Okay.
I just
Hard to
love both.
compare.
I mean, it's different now, and I'm glad that I had my children when I was younger because you have so much more energy. But I loved all the chaos. I loved the craziness of the kids running around in a house full of their friends. And if I could do it all over again, I would. But it's like being able to live it all over again. But then getting to go to sleep.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming to say hi, Mom.
Thank you.
Oh, love you both.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you all for supporting them.
Yes, thank you all. See ya.
My family, we have some family members coming and visiting this weekend, and so they're with our babies downstairs. And anyway,
so much family. We love family.
So fun. Okay.
All right, let's see if we can catch up on all of these comments.
For anybody who's just barely on, thank you so much for being here. We're going to try to go through as many comments as we can before 7. So, another 40 minutes or so. If you have a question that you really want answered, you can do a super chat that brings it across our screen really large, and we'll be sure to answer it.
Won't miss that.
And we will try to get through as many comments as we can just through the regular chat as well. Are there any FLDS still in Texas?
Oh my goodness, that is a great question. Not to my knowledge, but there could be some because now they're kind of scattered around everywhere. There's not so many of them that still follow Warren Jeffs that now live in Short Creek area. They're kind of scattered around. Someone earlier asked if my family still lives there. I do have one family member that still lives in Short Creek with his family, but the rest of them are scattered in other places and parts of Utah. So not as many out there anymore.
Yeah, I saw a question and I can't remember where it was, but it said if Joseph Smith came back, do you think he would claim the LDS Church or the FLDS Church as his own? And that is quite the question. That's a good question to think of.
That is a great question. And yes, so the short answer would be, I think the way that the FLDS Church was, the FLDS Church before Warren Jeffs just ran everything into the ground recently, was closer to the way Joseph Smith left it. And I'll leave it at that as far as the way that they were running things.
Yeah. Oh, Deb Little, thank you so much for the super chat.
Wow. Thank you,
we're going to answer Deb's question. Sam, do you get together with your siblings who are out?
Yes, I do. Thank you so much for this question. And, I try to be there for them as much as I can. I don't live super close to any of them. A lot of them are in northern Utah, and I'm down here in Las Vegas, Nevada. But we do try to get together for special occasions during the holidays or around birthdays and that type of thing. But there are about 15 of us now that are out. So we try to get together as often as we can.
Yeah. I know this one was for my mom, but I know the answer. So was she nervous that her son-in-law would go back to the FLDS and bring me into it? And no, when we got married, it was very clear that he was very, very did not want that lifestyle or anything. Yeah. So they didn't really have a whole lot of concern. Although a lot of people would ask her that question, like all the time, like, are you worried? Are you worried? Are you worried? But they knew Sam really well before we got married. So.
It's a valid concern.
Yeah.
I grew up out there 18 years of my life, so I can understand where the concern would come from. So great question, but I don't think she was.
Yeah. Babe, what was your most up close experience you had with Warren?
I shook his hand several times. I've been in his home. I helped do the landscaping in his yard. So I've seen him around a lot, and I like I say, I shook his hand several times. But my sister married his father, Rulon Jeffs. So met him on occasion through that relationship as well.
Babe, when your wreck happened at the creek, my brother Harold watched it happen. He was at the intersection. That would
Oh,
be
wow.
horrific.
Okay,
To have
now
to see
that you
that.
say who your brother Harold is, I know who you are now. So thanks for being here. And wow. So I imagine that was quite the experience to see that. Did he actually see it or just hear it? Was he around the area or was he actually watching it happen? That's
Yeah, let us
crazy.
know. Rocket Mom saying it's hard to be patient for when they're ready to hear. For those of you who just hopped on, we were talking about some advice for if you're leaving the LDS Church, how to talk to your parents or loved ones. Quickly, I'll just repeat that. I would say the biggest advice is to not try to give them all the information that you learned through your entire journey. I know it's super patient, Rocket Mom, to wait for when they're ready to hear certain things. I would also say, I guess, kind of a second part, find one person that you can open up completely to. So
Right.
Sam and I were super lucky that we had each other through it, that we could be that complete, honest, every single piece of information that we were getting. We were just spewing it out to one another and all of our thoughts. If you don't have someone in your life that can be that for you, like look for a community around or on Facebook, there's different communities, reach out and email us. Like we're here if people are going through that and they don't have someone where they can just realize they're not alone.
Makes a huge difference to be able
difference.
to share that with people. And
Yeah.
just all the difference in the world. Wow.
Rita Joe, thank you so
Joe,
much for
thank
your
you.
comment. Says,
Thank you.
I have family in Cache Valley and noticed quite an increase of FLDS up there, especially
Mm.
around Smithfield and Richmond. Is that where many seem to go?
So yes, a lot of them there, a lot of them in Cedar City, a lot of them kind of scattered around in southern Utah, like Kanab and Fredonia and those areas. So, but yes, I know a lot of them have, if you want to use the word migrate, have moved up to the northern parts of Utah as well. So that's not surprising. I'm curious to know how your experience has been seeing them around and kind of what that's like. I don't know. Are they friendly? I'd be interested to know.
Yeah. This one for Mama Bear. Even though what do you think about Sam missing out on his bio parents and the feeling he's going through with that? My mom, it definitely breaks her heart. But I know that she's super close to us, and I know that she's really happy to be able to be there, especially like when she was saying about the Easter stuff. Like anytime there's something new that is a tradition for our family that Sam was experiencing for the first time, she just ate it up. She loved getting to have show him new traditions and stuff.
Right.
So
It was a great. I don't know. I feel like I fit right in with her family. There wasn't really any challenge there. So
yeah. Where were we? Did you ever think about the outside world when you were in the FLDS?
I did, and of course, as you get a little bit older, you start thinking more about what is it going to be like when you get married or when you are trying to provide for a family and just, what else is out there in this big wide world. So there were definitely times I thought about it. When I was younger, though, I never thought that I was going to leave. That was never a question or a thought. But as soon as I got into my teenage years and all of that, then I started having a lot more questions.
Yeah. How do you super chat? Okay, Jared, so down below underneath where you would chat, there's a $ in a box. And if you click on that, it'll bring up so you can ask a question with a dollar amount, and then it pops it up real big for us. So for those of you who are just joining, we're trying to get through these questions as much as we can. But if you do leave a super chat, it pops it up for us, and we will make sure to get to your question if that is the case.
And thank you to those that have already done that.
Yeah. Did you click the next with the dollar? Oh, someone else is saying, letting them know how to do super chats.
Thank you all.
What's the best way to reach you for a note?
Oh, well, we have in our descriptions, we have a PO box, and we also have an email at growingupinpolygamy@gmail.com. You can reach out that way as well.
Oh, that's sweet of you, JJ, to apologize, but your question makes perfect sense. So don't even worry. And
yeah, great question.
My mom did watch our Mormon stories. I let my family, actually, I sent it. We have like a family group chat, and I let them know because we have a lot of family that's LDS. And I was like, hey, just so you know, we're doing this. If it's something you want to watch and learn more about, then please do. And if it's something that your heart's not ready for, then please don't. We don't want you to feel like you have to. So we let them all know about that.
Jay McCoy. Am I seeing this
yeah.
right? Thank you.
Thank you, Jay
Jay
McCoy.
McCoy. Thank you for this question and for the super chat. She asks, does it ever get sad to talk about your childhood? I assume that's a question for me.
Yeah.
But yes, I was a lucky, I guess I was one of the lucky ones that had a great family, had a lot of love. And so there wasn't a lot of hard things to talk about while living in the FLDS community. But talking about it now does bring up some sad feelings just because of the way that I had to leave and not be able to return to be with my family. So that does bring up some sad thoughts and feelings at times. But other than that, not so much about the way I was raised.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why. So yeah, okay, we did get all those. We got all those super chats. Please link the Mormon Stories podcast. Oh, okay, we can do that. And Laura, apart from religious doctrine, what was the most unique or perhaps different thing you believed that wasn't true? A myth, perhaps, an untrue historical. You want to answer that one, babe?
Let's see. I'm not fully understanding.
Apart from religious doctrine, was there anything else that you believed that you found out later wasn't true? Like untrue historical events or?
Oh boy. I don't know if there was things that I was taught that weren't true aside from religion, but there was just so much I wasn't aware of. So there was so many things that I learned to be true, not necessarily going against what I believed before, but just new things that were added on to what I wasn't told, I guess, with the lack of some education.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, thanks, Alicia and Paige and Jay McCoy. Sorry that took us a second to see. I don't know why it didn't pop up on our screen like they normally do. But but we did get to it.
There.
So, sorry that took so long, though,
yes.
Jay McCoy. I'm glad
Hopefully we answered your question okay there.
Yes, and thank you so much, Mary Flinker.
Oh, yes. Hey, Mary, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for being here.
I used to work in a hotel about years ago. I had an FLDS family check out. Several wives, the whole family was wearing brown. Was it common for families to wear one color?
I saw that it became more common after I moved out. So it seems like you would think that when Warren was incarcerated, that things would become a little bit more relaxed, but things only got more strict and more crazy. And some of the things like the solid colors and the colors that the pastels and things like that became more common. And I did start to see families around that wore all the same color. I don't know if there was a reason for that or if they just thought it would be cute to match. I'm not sure about that, but great question. I don't know for sure if there was a reason for the brown.
Yeah. Do you have any friends from the FLDS days? I watched an interview from Urban Stewart, whose story reminded me of yours. He also was from Short Creek. Love you guys. Oh, thanks, Kathy.
Thanks, Kathy.
And yes, he still does have friends from FLDS days.
I do, yes.
We just went to a wedding not too long ago. That was from people who had left. And, you can't really still stay friends when they haven't left yet. But when people have left, then.
For those that have left, some have left around the same time I did, some after. And I do try to keep in touch with them as much as possible.
Did you know any of Warren's wives as kids growing up? And there's some overlap somewhere between.
Yes. I saw a lot of the women that married him later on around the community with their families in church meetings and things like that. So watching some of these documentaries, I see the women and the men in these documentaries, and I remember a lot of their faces being around, kind of remember what they were like in the community. But I don't really know any of his wives super personally, I guess.
Do any of you have tattoos? Are you willing to get one? That's a good question.
Great question.
I do not have tattoos.
No, we don't.
No tattoos. I guess I don't have anything like against getting one, but it would have to be something super special. And I've never thought of anything where I was like, that seems like a good tattoo.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just never really particularly been my thing. Obviously, a part of that's probably from the way I was raised.
The way
but
we were raised, yes.
Yeah, I don't know. It'd have to be something super, super special.
Right.
But I've never thought of anything special enough that
good
I would
question.
want in a tattoo.
Haven't thought much about that.
Yeah. Oh, hey, here. Mama.
Oh, hey.
My baby. So another family member were like.
So Melissa's brother, Arthur, is also here today. You can sit down right there and jump in.
Yeah, like I said, we have a lot of family in town. We'll say hi. Okay, I was like, he needs to come say hi at some point because he's the one who did the music for our intro.
Yep. So
So-
the intro you hear,
Oh, that's my brother.
That
He
was
did
him.
that. So welcome. His name is Arthur Cowles, and you can look him up. But if you hear me call him Bubba, I can't not do that because he's my baby brother, and that's what
We
I call
him
him.
Bubba.
So we'll keep answering the questions on there. Oh, people are saying hello, love the family reunion. We're twins. I know. Again, you can't tell, right? Like I said, family resemblance. Like in my family, we all like everyone can tell.
they definitely
All the
look a little bit
time.
alike, right?
Yeah, just a little bit,
There you
right?
go.
Hi there. Oh, fun. The music's good. Oh, thanks. You guys are awesome.
I
Can't forget
appreciate that.
Oh, they want a funny story about me.
A
Uh-oh.
funny story.
What's a funny
about
story you
you?
can think of about
Brothers
me?
telling funny stories
Oh,
about their
no.
sisters. How could this go?
I think when we lived together up in Orem for a while. I
Yeah.
don't know if I can think of like a specific funny story, but I think the general occasion or like the general pattern of like me being up late eating ramen and Pop Tarts
Yep.
and you coming home at like 2 a.m. and just be like, what's up?
That and so before
diet.
I lived in northern Utah, I was working as a manager in and out. And before Art went on his mission, his LDS mission, he came and lived with me for a while. And I remember too, like we'd eat ramen and we'd watch My Name is Earl.
My name is Earl.
Oh
yeah.
my word. So
Like
that was
every
like
single night.
every single night. And when he says I came home at 2, it's because we would work till 2 in the morning, closing shifts on In and Out. And he was also working In and Out at a different store because I wasn't allowed to be his manager. But we would like both come home and eat bowls of ramen and stay up way too late.
Yeah,
Good times.
just fun stuff.
Yeah.
Good times. Someone asks, is Arthur still LDS?
Yes, I am.
Yes,
I'm
he
active
is.
practicing.
Yeah. Okay, that's our why didn't you get invited to the party? You were too young. Our sister just hopped on. She's too young when we were partying it up at 2:00 in the morning. She would have been like 10 years old.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that's why.
Oh, is Michaela in there?
Oh,
Yeah.
Is that
I
her?
see.
Oh.
Yeah.
What?
Gotcha.
What's up, Michaela?
Hi Arthur, you have some great digital skills. My sons get Bub and Bubby, so stand tall with Bubba.
Oh,
There you go.
Did we get along as kids?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I feel like we've always had a good relationship. Like even when we were younger, I'd say when we were really younger, we have another brother that's a couple years younger than him, and they were like little best buds because they were in each other's world all the time, like the video games, all that kind of stuff. But we've always still had a great relationship. Still do. We look so much alike.
Saying hi, and yes, they all look like twins. I agree.
Oh, Art, where'd you serve your mission?
South Korea. Yeah.
And he can speak fluent Korean. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And our other brother also went to Korea. And so they now have their own secret code.
Yeah.
Secret language around us.
Say something in Korean.
아무것도. That means something in Korean.
How many
He's a funny one.
How many siblings do we have? So I'm the oldest. Then it goes Bubba. And then we have another brother and then a baby sister. Well, I call her a baby still. She's like almost 24. But
Yeah.
she's baby to us. Bubba, funny story about Sam. Do you have any funny stories?
Oh,
about
that's
Sam?
a question for him.
About
Okay.
Yeah.
Sam?
I think so. I think it should be.
I don't know if he can remember all of them because I'm just so funny all the time, right?
I was actually gonna say something. I feel like we say like that you and I when we're together and like because when I'm with Bobby, we have a really stupid sense of humor and we say a lot of dumb stuff. But when Bobby isn't here, it's like always me and Sam that are saying dumb stuff.
We have a similar personality in that we like silly things.
He'll say something and I'll be the only one. I'll be like, ha.
Yeah.
Just like that.
So it's pretty common, I think. We have a good
Our
time.
sister says no to us all being in Vegas. She's wondering why she's not here with us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, come visit.
You're always welcome.
You can be down here in 6
Michaela.
hours. Ramen at 2 a.m. is the official 18 to 22-year-old diet. That is true.
Yeah.
Amen.
It
Amen.
is. Back when I didn't have to worry about carbs. It was great. Those were great days. Sam, what was your favorite thing to do
Ooh,
before you left?
Jennifer, that's a great question. The favorite thing to do, you mean aside from working 24/7? No, I'm just kidding. No, I did do a lot of work, but man, that's a great question. I loved road trips. I like to just get in the car and go for a ride and maybe go off on some dirt road or go on some family vacation. I was able to go with some of my siblings and my parents to a California national park road trip, and that was just the most amazing thing ever. we didn't get a lot of opportunity because the family was so big to do much vacationing, but any opportunity we got, I think vacation or just going for a Sunday drive or something was always one of my favorite things.
Yeah. Do missionaries learn any cultural context or historical education about the countries they're sent to beforehand? Bubba, what did you experience? And then I'll ask Sam
Oh,
too.
yeah, I definitely did.
So
I
they
felt
give you like history lessons as well, in addition to the language?
not so much history lessons, but a lot of like cultural stuff. At least like my teachers did. They were like, this is like culturally like appropriate stuff, like what's polite and what's impolite, and like how to talk to people and not come off as rude and stuff. So I'd say a
Okay.
lot of that stuff, at least when I went to the MTC, was I had some really good teachers, and I felt like
Prepared.
I knew how to be a good foreigner in a foreign country, you know,
Yeah.
before I got there.
Interesting.
That's
Okay.
good. What about you, babe?
See, for me, it was different because there were so many people in the MTC, the Mission Training Center, that were learning Spanish, going to Spanish-speaking countries. I went to Chile, and so the teacher that was teaching us Spanish didn't actually go to Chile, so they didn't know anything about Chile.
Yeah.
So they didn't really talk to us much about the cultural things, rather just teaching us some Spanish things. So really, I didn't learn much about Chile aside from a couple Google searches, and then from my companions and the mission president that was there taught me some things when I first arrived.
Yeah, pretty much only Korea speaks Korean, and so that's
Right,
like
exactly.
exactly.
The only
a lot
Exactly.
easier to do that if you don't have people that are going to way
Different
different
Right.
places.
places.
That makes
A
sense.
lot of Spanish-speaking countries,
Yeah.
though. So
So our church is mission in South Korea. Any good stories from that time, like craziest experience or danger, or
Danger, something dangerous. Korea is a pretty safe place for the most part,
Good to know.
and most people are like, yeah, I'd say I saw more dangerous situations that like Koreans were in compared to like my own safety. You know, I didn't feel like people really tried to bother us that much, and like the only times I could think that I was really like threatened really were like by Russians that were in
Ooh.
Korea.
oh, interesting.
Yeah, they were
Russian?
like Koreans that didn't speak Korean and they only spoke Russian, and they just kind of like looked at me and like got up in my face and like flicked a cigarette away.
Oh,
I was
like a
like-
movie.
Yeah, and I was like, "Do you not speak Korean?" And they like looked at me in English, and he's like, "No." I was like, "All right, sounds good." You know.
Oh my
So
goodness.
that was kind of funny.
Interesting. I
Oh.
But no,
would've-
most the Koreans for the most part were like pretty chill. Yeah.
That's
I
awesome.
would not have guessed that.
Oh,
Okay.
it's not a dumb question at all. They don't have a choice on where they go for a mission. It's assigned.
Yeah.
So they put in their paperwork saying they're willing to go, and then they get. Well, it used to be like an actual
An
letter
actual
in the
letter,
mail,
which was a lot of fun. I
and
thought.
now it's all digital. But yeah, they still
Saving
get.
trees, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
Now they get either way, email, a letter, telling them where they.
And they
get to go
open it
serve.
up, and it's normally the family gets together, and it's a big surprise. Let's find out where we're going.
It's a lot of fun to find out where.
Mhm.
Laura says, "How often do return missionaries use their acquired language in their work?" Depends on the
Ooh,
language, right?
Largely depends on the language. Yes.
So Sam uses it every single day.
Yes, I
Go ahead.
use with the customers I work with. I mean, almost probably 40% of my day is spent speaking Spanish. So
And what about Korean?
I'd say it was, when it comes to languages that aren't as common, you'd have to go out of your way. Like
Mm.
you kind of have to want it more in order to use it. So like I've done a couple jobs where I was interpreting. Like I went to CES and interpreted for a Korean healthcare company at
Mm.
their booth for like a whole weekend, and I went to Korea to translate for some construction company over there. And so you kind of, if you want it, or if there are like situations that come up and you get lucky, then you use it. But besides that, it's mostly just when I'm at Disneyland and I say, "Oh, can I take a picture for you?" And they're like, "Wow, you speak
Small
Korean.
things.
Thank
Well,
you so much."
And it was nice that because our other brother also served in Korea, then
Mm.
at least you have him to like practice with sometimes, right?
Oh yeah,
Like,
and
so
he's
that's
better
super
Korean than I
helpful.
am. So
well, he took some
He helps
classes
me.
in college and all that,
yeah,
right?
that was his major.
So
was
he majored in
so
Korean. So he's very actively using it.
He's
Yeah.
super good, and I'm just good, I guess.
What did you like doing when you lived there? The times that I visited, it's so pretty, but didn't really know what to go to when you.
Well, when I was on my mission, it was mostly just working every day. And so, but I think my favorite things to do when we were on our days off was to go to like the old Buddhist temples and shrines and stuff. There's a lot of really cool historical sites over there. And
Interesting.
you kind of, some of them you kind of have to talk to the locals to get a feel of where they're at. But that was the coolest thing I did when I was there. when I went back and wasn't working all the time as a missionary, there are a lot of karaoke places that are fun. There are arcades that are fun. Yeah, kind of the same stuff that you get at a lot of different places, but I'd say the food in Korea is the best part.
Lots of
Oh,
spicy food,
Really
which
good
is
food.
ouch.
Yeah.
We're hoping to go next year.
Yes, we
so
want to
thank you.
visit.
Yeah, and especially since we have our own personal translators, it seems like we just need to.
Yeah.
Art, what did you think when your sister married an ex-fundamentalist?
Interesting.
Can I just say before he answers this question, it was interesting because from the time that I started dating Sam to the time we got married while he was still on his mission. He was serving his mission for 2 years.
I hadn't met you before I
And
got married.
so he never met Sam before, like when we were dating or when we got married. He wasn't at the wedding. So he didn't meet Sam until we had been married almost like 5 months.
He didn't have a chance to disapprove. So.
Yeah, really, right? But what were your first impressions like when you heard that I was dating someone who was from out there?
I didn't think anything of it, honestly.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. Yeah.
Is my sister happy? Yes. Good.
Yeah, honestly. It was
I remember you asking that.
Everybody's from different places and has different life experiences. And so as long as they're the person that's going to be good to you now, then like I didn't bother me at all.
Do you feel like since we grew up in St. George, you were kind of familiar with their culture, or did you like even think that much about it?
I really didn't even think that much about it.
Yeah, I was happy.
She could have said he was an ex-Scientologist, and I still would have been like, "Oh, interesting." Like what kind of person is he now? You know?
Yeah.
So.
Right. Interesting. From Michelle here. She loved My Name is Earl as well.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Michelle.
Classic.
Thanks for being a member.
Thank you. Thanks for being here.
Does Arthur have kids?
No, not yet. No.
Not yet. He has a very cute wife, though.
I am. Married.
And one thing that's on your bucket list.
Oh, my bucket list.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, that's a good one.
Oh, also, while he's thinking of this, what's your website? And I'll put it down here because again, for those of you who are just joining, this is my brother Art. I call him Bubba, and because he'll always be my baby brother. And he's a musician. He's the one who did our intro music. So let me put a link to his website while he's thinking of his bucket list. Is it just?
So if you do, I have a link tree kind of thing.
Real quick. Okay, fantastic. So you get to think of a bucket list and type at the same time.
I think it's just.
There were a couple of more missionaries in this. See, I got lost the name there.
Yeah, I think that'll link to like my Spotify and my website and everything.
Okay.
And if it's broken, let us know. I don't know. I feel like right now I don't have a lot of stuff that's on my bucket list. I feel like I have bucket list items of things I want to do with my wife.
Oh, yeah.
Like I want to take my wife to go to Korea and I want to take my wife to Japan. And so I haven't thought about stuff that I want to do in a while because I just want to like show her all the fun stuff that I've seen. You know?
That's good. That's good. Share it with your wife. That's funny, Jay McCoy. They have some missionaries in their neighborhood. She says, I feel bad that they got sent to St. Louis. I don't know anything about St. Louis, but
it's probably nice.
Someone said, was there deafness in the FLDS? If so, what was their communication? Did they use sign language or something else?
Huh. I'm trying. There were people that knew how to speak sign language or use the sign language language. So I did see people doing that. So, and there were some deaf people in the community, and I remember seeing them go with their hands doing the sign language and being very impressed and kind of surprised by it all. But I do remember seeing that. Yes.
Yeah.
So they learned it somewhere. I'm not sure where.
How did the LDS feel about the military? Very positive. Lots of LDS members serve in the military.
Yeah, my brother-in-law is a Marine.
Yeah. And very, I'd say overall, very patriotic. I would consider LDS people. Favorite Korean food?
Ooh, chuotong. It's changed over time, but chuotong it's mud eel soup.
Oh.
Yeah, it sounds super gross. And maybe it's because I have eaten so much that I kind of like a lot of the weirder stuff now.
You just got used to it?
But yeah, they take a bunch of eels. And you can see them. They've got like tanks, like Red Lobster tanks, but it's like halfway full of dirt, and they're just kind of squirming around in there. Ugh. And they take them and they blend them all up and put a bunch of spices in, and then cook them in a soup. And
it's good.
It's so good.
Okay, would have never thought of that.
There you go.
Yeah,
That's
I-
something that didn't make your stomach just barely turn, like hearing it.
I
But
wouldn't-
maybe you could try something.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it as your first Korean food.
Okay, good to know. Good to
First
know.
Korean food, try like tteokbokki or something.
Okay.
That's really good and like.
I think
good
I've
for
tried that, and
foreigners.
that was good.
Yeah.
Nancy, yes, for those of you who are just joining, thank you so much for coming to our live. This is my brother, Art. He's the one who made the music for our intro music. Yeah, for our introduction.
Yes.
Or intro.
Our
intro
our
slideshow.
intro
He made
music.
our
Yes.
But yes, this is my little brother. Love your channel.
Oh,
so
thank
I
you.
often have heard called Catholics, the Great
Oh,
of Babylon. Why do LDS view Catholics this way? I'm Catholic, by the way. So the LDS. Well, you'd have to tell me whether or not you were taught this, or like had ever heard that the Catholics were the great and abominable church that was mentioned in the Book of Mormon.
Yeah, I know there were some. I can't remember. Like specifically the Great Wall of Babylon. I haven't heard that term before, and so
Yeah,
I'm sure it's
maybe.
taken from some specific speech or quote. Or
Yeah,
something.
that must be a specific one. I didn't hear that of the Babylon. I had heard that the Catholics were the great and abominable church. And I was always kind of told that it was because they had like so much money.
Yeah.
But that can't be the case either, because the LDS has a lot of money too. So I don't even know.
I don't
Yeah,
think
I
it was a
don't
church thing. I
remember
think it
that.
was just people making up
I
stuff.
think it was more of a cultural.
It was,
Right.
it was
people
definitely
said stuff.
cultural, because
Yeah.
they never, like, nowhere in any doctrine or scripture did it say Catholics. It was
Mhm.
definitely a cultural, like, who could they be talking about? Maybe they're talking about these people. Maybe they're talking.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think I asked my younger sister this, who she's 8 years younger than me. And like, I don't think she was taught that at all. So I think they've gotten away from that, like
Mhm.
that cultural thing that they kind of like passed around, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're definitely shying away from that in
But
general.
I think it came from just the fact that it was a very large church. And so because growing up FLDS, we assumed that the LDS Church was a great and abominable church because they were a much bigger church than we were. So, I think people were just making up stuff, trying to make sense of it all. But thank you for that super chat. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
so much. And that is, that's a good question. But yeah, hopefully that answers enough. And it's definitely not a all Mormons type of thing by any means. It's definitely a cultural thing.
Yeah, because the church now has done a lot of like humanitarian work with
With
the
the
Catholic
Catholics.
Church
Yeah,
for a
now they
lot of
have, like-
stuff, and so it's
Like
like,
a good relationship.
Right.
yeah,
right.
so it'd be very bizarre.
I'd say it was an older cultural thing of people trying to come up with random things. But
Yeah.
my son
All
and two
right.
nephews are my nephew. Oh yeah, lots of Yay! Oh, thank you, Monty, for joining. We're
Glad
glad
you made it. Glad you made
Thanks
it
for being a
too.
member. Sam, what were you taught about the Centennial Park residents?
Oh,
Did you interact with them in common places? Sorry if this is a complicated reference. Perhaps compare, contrast FLDS and Centennial Park.
so Centennial Park, we were all aware of them as the apostates that decided to leave the church because they wanted to follow a false prophet. That, to put it simple, that's what we believed. They would dress different. I guess you could say they would dress more normal, but different from the FLDS. So we could easily tell them apart from other people in the community. And we normally tried not to interact with them growing up, FLDS. So they were looked at, I guess, as an FLDS member, they were looked down upon a little bit because we felt they had left the true church.
Yeah. We got a super chat. Let me hop up here real quick.
Oh,
Norma,
Norma.
thank you for the super chat.
Thank
Sam,
you.
although you don't have much communication with your birth mother, do you have contact with your other moms?
No, not really. They're also still believing and following Warren Jeffs. And so, some of them have passed on at this point, but the ones that are still following Warren Jeffs, it's kind of the same thing. We're not allowed to mingle with them.
For all of those of you who are correcting us about the Babylon thing, that will go to show you how much we knew about that term to begin with, like what
Yeah.
that was.
Right.
I've never heard any LDS people ever refer about that with the Catholics. So again, it shows kind of like our ignorance with that. That wasn't really something. I'd only heard the great and abominable church part. And again, that's definitely like opinions that got shared.
Right.
And not a thing anymore. But as an ex-LDS, do you drink coffee and or caffeine? So interesting, caffeine is totally allowed, even in the LDS church.
Yes.
There's nothing against caffeine and the
They
word
like
of
their
wisdom.
Coke, Diet Coke.
Diet Coke all the way, like not a big deal at all. As far as coffee goes, you can't drink coffee as part of the word of wisdom. Sam does enjoy coffee now. Or I guess I can let you say that.
No, I enjoy a cup of coffee on occasion now. So
and I drink the same Diet Coke I did when I was LDS.
Interestingly, though, growing up young in the FLDS church, coffee was actually okay in the community because they had the word of wisdom as well, but they took it as a suggestion, not as a commandment. So a lot of people would drink coffee and on occasion a beer or even some wine. So in the FLDS church, it was looked at a little bit differently.
Yeah, they definitely viewed the word of wisdom differently. What do the FLDS think about ghosts?
I will correct myself here, just for anyone's information that's curious. My father did not. He took the. Oh, thanks for being here.
Oh yeah, thanks so much.
Thanks,
bud.
Bubba.
See ya.
Bye.
But my father took the word of wisdom very strictly, and he didn't believe in anyone drinking or want anyone of his family to drink coffee or alcohol and that type of thing. But throughout the community, you would see it. Okay, sorry. What was the question now?
Let's see some of the.
You asked me a question.
I did. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
It was about the FLDS. Sorry, we're trying to find it again.
Oh, we lost a question here. Hopefully it wasn't deleted off of here.
Oh, Centennial Park residents.
No, we entered
did that
one.
one.
It was right below here.
Think about ghosts.
Oh, what do the FLDS think about ghosts? I guess you could say we believed in them. We believed that there were spirits out there that were mingling among us, I guess you could say. But we were taught that they were either good spirits, or you could call angels that were there to help guide us and protect us, or we were taught that there were evil spirits working for Satan that you'd have to watch out for, and you'd have to make sure that you were always being perfectly obedient and having the what we would call the Holy Ghost with us, the Holy Spirit, to help keep away the bad spirits. So if you want to lump that in with ghosts, that's kind of what we were taught.
Yeah. There was another one that I saw that I was going through. Oh, we got another super. Mary.
Oh, Mary, thank you.
You need an intro for your YouTube channel. That is something my brother can help with.
Yes, email us.
Yeah, and also I put in the comments up above his link tree, so you can go to his website, and I'm sure he can be for hire for making intro music. So
he does a great job.
He did a great job. I was like, this is the vibe we're going for, and literally in one day.
It didn't take him long at all.
No,
I think we got
not
another
long at
super
all.
chat there.
And we did. So let's go up here.
Coffee drinking
is not a sin.
Is not a sin.
We love that username, first of all.
That's funny.
I know you let the FLDS on a bit of a whim. Do you wish you could have said some goodbyes before you left?
100%. And if you watch one of our more recent videos about, it's kind of a tribute to my mother and kind of talking about my experience with her and what kind of the loving mother she was, I talk about that a little bit. But yes, I wish so badly that I could go back and do things differently now, knowing how much I miss them and wish that I could be with them. But yes, I wish I could go back and leave on I guess on better terms, or try to at least explain myself a little bit more. I know I don't know how I could have done that at the age that I was at. I didn't really know the best way to go about it, but it was difficult to just leave without any notice.
Yeah, definitely. To just make sure we got that one.
Got all that one. Yes.
Yeah. Alcohol was okay for many FLDS. So in the word of wisdom, it does say that mild drinks are fine, referring to beer. So the FLDS took the word of wisdom a lot more literally. Right in the beginning of the word of wisdom, it says it's not meant to be a commandment. Yeah. And that those things were okay.
And I would hear stories about some of the bishops and that high leaders of the church that would consume alcohol on occasion. So I guess it was okay in their eyes.
Yeah. I think I missed two super chats. Oh no.
How did we miss the super chat? Is it this one here? Is that
Diane,
one?
Thank you so much for the super chat. Coffee drink's not a sin. We got that one. Hopefully we didn't miss any more.
Maybe we need to scroll.
Oh, just wanted to say a quick hello. Oh, thanks, Diane.
Okay, so maybe they're down here.
Here you go.
Here's one. We did miss
another super chat. Was it harder for you to leave the FLDS church or the LDS church? Oh, that's a really good question. And thank you again for the super chat.
How do you come up with these questions, people?
So
These are great questions. And I wish I had more time to sit here and discuss these and answer them better. But, oh, man, that's a tough one. Honestly, I feel like it was harder to leave the LDS church only because I was older, married, I have kids now, and so there's so much more going. It wasn't just me anymore. It was a decision that we had to make as a family. It was a decision that we had to make for our children. We knew that it was going to completely change the way they were raised and everything. So it was a more difficult, not to mention all of the, I know that I hurt a lot of people when I left the FLDS church, but now I have so many more people in my life. I feel like I hurt maybe even more people when I chose to step away from the LDS church. So I would say, due to my age and how much more I have going on with my life, it was more difficult to step away from the LDS.
I feel like too, and I don't know, not trying to project this on you, but I feel like people kind of expect when you're 18 years old, you like are figuring out what you want, what you're
Right.
thinking, how you're feeling. And I feel like it's kind of more common to maybe seem more rebellious or coming into your own and deciding. It's a little bit different when you're making those kinds of big transitions in your life at 30
Right.
instead of 18. So I don't know if that played a role, but I can imagine that would be harder in that sense.
Yeah. At 18 years old, I was just like, nah, this is what I want. This is what I'm going to do. And now I look back and I'm like, oh man, I wish I could have left differently, you know, but at 18, it was just like, I'm just going to do this because that's what I want. But now at this age with a family, it's a lot more to think about and very difficult decisions. Very difficult.
If you had done something rebellious like getting a tattoo in the FLDS, would you have been kicked out?
If they found out, yes. Yeah, a tattoo or a piercing on women or men, a piercing or tattoos, absolutely not a chance. That would have definitely gotten you sent away for repentance and possibly never returned.
Yeah.
So,
Sam, do you think there's been secret births in the FLDS?
definitely, there's been a lot. Not so much, at least that I know of. I didn't hear about it when I was there 15 years ago. But nowadays, it seems like there's a lot of things happening in secret.
Yeah.
So I know that there are some children that were born in the FLDS church in recent years that don't even really know for sure who their parents are. At least that's what I've been told from people that have left more recently.
Yeah.
So
no, FLDS weren't allowed any internet.
no internet. Well, that's actually,
it's changing a little bit now.
No, even when I was out there, businesses were allowed to have internet for very specific reasons, but we were not allowed to have it in our homes or on cell phones or that type of thing. It was only for businesses for very specific reasons. So
yeah,
some of them did have it.
As a former Catholic, I've never been taught the LDS Church was bad. We are really great friends with people who are Catholic, and yes. we've heard that too. They always seem so kind. No one ever they've never been told anything bad about us.
Thank you.
Are the wards
Chelsea
the same as parishes? I'd say wards are. I don't know exactly what a parish is. Like how big a parish is.
Please explain in more detail what a.
It's like a congregation. A ward is typically about 300 people. If it kind of puts in
on the location.
Yeah, I guess that's true. It can be smaller than that, but like in Utah, I would say it's about 300 people, give or take. So I don't know how that compares.
Based on geographics.
Okay, subscribe or super chat.
Oh,
Yukon
hey.
Cornelius. First of all, I love the Yukon Cornelius. That's amazing.
Thank you for the super chat.
Just paying my tithing. Thank you so much.
Somebody has a sense of humor here. Thank you for that.
Thank you for your super chat. We really appreciate it. I learned. Let's see. I was expecting that answer. What happened to your dad after he was kicked out?
Oh boy, this is a long question, and I don't like to get into too much detail just because I feel that it's not really my story to tell, and I want to protect his privacy. But I know he was sent away for a while to this so-called repentance. That, from what my understanding, he wasn't really sure in detail why he was even called to repentance. So I don't know how they expected him to repent. I don't know, but. After some time, he was able to go back and live near the family, but to my knowledge, not with the family, as in within the same home. So I don't have all the details, nor do I feel it's my place to share all the details. But that's about what I know.
Sam, who is the bad influence in your life, or what was the craziest experience you've had after you left? Sincerely, a bad influence. LOL.
Oh my goodness. Oh, a bad influence in my life. I guess it depends on who you ask. See, because some people would say that certain people were bad influences in my life because they went against what they believed was good or bad, or their religion or their religious beliefs, but honestly, it just depends on the person. I would say that there were people in my childhood, even some siblings, that were considered a very bad influence on me because I was following the rules of the religion, and then all of a sudden I didn't care so much about certain rules of the FLDS, and they blamed that on some of my siblings that were a little bit more rebellious. So I guess you could say some of my siblings were blamed for being very bad influences on me, even. But like I say, it's all a matter of perspective, though. For my parents, going against anything that was taught in the FLDS church was considered a very bad influence. So I guess it depends. I don't have a direct answer for that.
Oh, yeah. For I think it was Mary, I resent my brother's link for anyone who wants to hear more of his music. He made our intro music for our channel, and
he does record music and shares it on different platforms like YouTube and other places. So.
Yeah, all on Spotify, everywhere. We'll probably do like 5 more minutes and then we'll wrap up. If anyone really has a question that they're dying, you can super chat so we can make sure we see it and get to any of those last minute questions before we have to log off.
Sorry, so many questions we've skipped through. I mean, we're trying to keep up here. I can't believe it's already been an hour. This is flying by.
Parish about the same. A parish is a church congregation. Okay, so very similar.
Yes, I guess that would be about the same as a ward.
Yeah. You did something of a go. Oh, thank you. Everyone hit the like button. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you so much.
Do parents, family members face backlash for their relatives leaving the church?
Ooh. Let's see here. I want to say yes a little bit because families can be blamed for their children not being perfectly obedient. And if you listen to some of the teachings that Warren Jeffs was talking to the congregations or the people of the church about, he would say in some cases that if a child wasn't obedient, that would fall on it would be the fault of the mother.
It's on the mother's head.
It's on the mother's head, and it's her fault because they weren't. So imagine the amount of pressure that these mothers are feeling when a child like myself decides to no longer follow the church. I mean, I feel so bad for all of the guilt and shame that she must be feeling.
Yeah. Some say my wife's grandpa left her grandma and went to Colorado City to follow polygamy. His name was Lloyd Phelps. Do you know anything about him? Have you heard of Lloyd Phelps?
I definitely have heard of him. I don't know a lot about him, but I know his name. I definitely have heard his name around the community, and I believe I've met his family as well. So very interesting.
Do you have siblings that will probably never leave the church?
Yes. Well, I guess
some that are older now, and
I guess never say never. You never know what's going to happen down the road. But at this point, it seems like they would never leave. They are very, very strong in the church. They have their families in the church. They're teaching their children now the ways of the FLDS church. So it seems at this point that there's no way they would, but never say never. I have no idea.
Yeah. Wow, he could be Sam's brother as well. Have you recognized or known anyone out of the documentaries? So funny story. We had gone to one of Sam's friends from the FLDS. They grew up next to. We went to his wedding, and him and his wife had both left the FLDS.
Right.
So we're at the wedding and we're sitting at the reception and we're eating some food. And then the person who sits next to us, we didn't know at the time, drum roll, was Elisa Wall.
Elisa Wall.
And this was before Keep Sweet came out. So we were talking to her. We exchanged information, just absolute sweetheart. And we just adored her. And then it was like a month or two, like 2 months later, we go to watch Keep Sweet, Pray and Obey, and she was on the documentary. And we were like, we just met her. So it's crazy. We need to reach out to her and see if we can get her on the channel and get some perspectives from there as well. But she's absolutely so sweet in real life, like so sweet.
Very, very sweet lady. And as far as other people, I recognized my sister in one of the pictures, and other people throughout the community, a lot of them, as they came on these documentaries, I do recognize them and have seen them around the community when I lived out there.
Yeah. Thank you, Norma, for the super chat.
Norma, thank you so much.
Will your father ever go back to the FLDS? And is that why he doesn't have much communication with you and your family?
So he doesn't have much communication with me and my family because he still believes and follows the FLDS, actually.
So even though his father, it wasn't kicked out of the community, he was told he needed to repent.
I believe, well,
right?
Yeah, and I believe he was actually he left the community for a time, but then went back.
Oh,
So,
okay. So maybe I'm.
I don't know all the details, like I say, but yes, he's always been a part of the FLDS Church.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
But so yeah, he doesn't have to go back because he still is a part of the community.
Right. And so
And still
that would
follows
limit
Warren.
that would limit his communication with me because he still follows and believes in the FLDS.
Yep. How many of your siblings remain in the church?
Oh, how many of my siblings still remain in the church?
So 15, I think it's 15 we're at that have left.
So there must be about
19 left?
19, 18, 19 that still believe or still follow the church.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, a lot of them have their families now too. So
believe in them. Oh, I'm just seeing some of the chat in between where people are sharing it. Monty, Elisa's amazing. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. I agree.
What church organization do you affiliate with now? Do you feel the need to connect with an organization? So we don't.
Not at this time. No,
we don't affiliate with any church at this time. Yeah, I can't say that we wouldn't ever in the future. I would say that at this point, at least for me personally, it's hard to go from like a religion that teaches that they are the only truth. And so at first when we left, I felt like if that wasn't the truth, that there had to be another church that was the only truth. Like I had to go and find the one and only truth.
So we did a lot of searching.
And then now I currently feel like there isn't just one truth. And so I think if we were to go to a congregation or some kind of organization at some point, it would have to be one that doesn't claim to be the only truth.
Right.
But again, we'll see. We're definitely not at like the end of our spiritual journey.
Yes, life is a spiritual journey all the way through. So we're just doing the best we can and the best we know how.
Yeah. Okay. Probably one more question, and then we got to go.
And I'm so sorry there are a lot of questions here, but I wish we could have answered all of them. But thank you all for being here. Let's grab one or two more questions really fast.
Yes. Asking a question. What the beliefs are. Love your spiritual journey story on Mormon Stories. Thank you so much, Monty. Thanks for taking the time for the live. How far back in your family history do your ancestors join the FLDS?
Oh, so
his help found the FLDS,
right? But exactly, my great grandfather helped get the whole FLDS church going. But before that, they were a part of the LDS Church before the FLDS Church broke off. So, I mean, for his great grandfather joined the LDS Church, he came from Sweden to the Salt Lake Valley and joined the LDS Church. So. Great grandfather.
Lots and lots of pioneer heritage. My parents were both converts to the church when they met. So I've got it doesn't go back far. It's just them.
Yeah.
So, but Laura, thank you so much. Oh, she used our emojis. So if you become a member of our channel and you join, then you get these cute little emojis that Laura just shared of us. So that's me with the heart eyes and Sam waving. Oh, it's so cute. So thank you so much, Laura. It's fun to see those.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. We hope you all have a great weekend.
Lemonade stand. This video will be posted so you can watch the whole thing after we end the live. It will be. I don't know how long.
I think it normally takes like an hour or so to upload. But
it will be posted so you can go back and watch it as a regular video.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Futures Bright. Oh, I know my mom's so sweet. So cute. Thanks for this. Thank you all so much. We hope you have a wonderful and safe weekend. Please hit the like button, subscribe if you aren't already subscribed. And for all of our subscribers, the ones who have been with us forever and the ones who are just barely new, we just thank you all so much for all of your support. Monty, thank you so much for all the emojis.
Yes, thank you, Monty. And for anyone, if we didn't get to your question, please feel free to ask it in another video or even send us an email at growingupinpolygamy@gmail.com. We are sorry we didn't get all of your questions, but thank you all for being here. It's been great chatting with you.
Yes. Have a good night, and we'll talk to y'all soon.
Have a good night. We'll talk to you soon.